Hello, world, and we're back. I am Ryan, Crownson's Corner, the Healing Chef, all those names. This is the Healing Chefs podcast. Healing Chefs podcast is all about natural remedies, wink, wink, and mental health, talking about the things that aren't that easy to talk about, fun things, and networking and having fun in the community. Um, Chef comes from the word chief meaning leader. Everybody that I have on here, I believe, is a leader in their own way. Today's leader is Veronica of High Maintenance, New Mexico. Ladies and gentlemen, Veronica.
Hello. Yeah. Insert audience clapping. Yay.
Woo, I did. And thank you very much. We were going to do this last weekend, but I don't know. I don't know if it's a sun or what, but I wasn't feeling too well. Not good at all. But we're better. It's hotter.
Oh, yes. Very hot here, too.
It's not getting any better here in Arizona, but it's great. But so let's go ahead, and if you could just introduce yourself to everybody before we jump into any of the segments, and we'll go from there.
Yeah. So my name is Veronica, and I own and operate with my partner, Matt Kennicott, High Maintenance Farms here in Socorro, New Mexico. And currently we're supposed to have 3 other farms on our property, but it looks like it's going to be 2. And then we take, here in the industry, we do a lot of licensing, compliance, a lot of advocating. I put on events like bud tender trainings all over the state. I wholesale, obviously, like my main job is wholesaling for our brand, the brands on the farm. And then I help with a whole bunch of other brands. Since we licensed so many people in the beginning, we have really good relationships. And I kind of went back to the little guys who have a hard time leaving their place. They're stuck at their grow or in their lab. And so I tell them, let me have a menu, and while I'm out wholesaling, I'll, plug your brand when appropriate. So,
Nice.
I do a lot. We do a lot. So.
Yeah, I'm trying to get more to the age of that myself, is the age of collaboration instead of competition. That's really big for me lately.
There's a lot of collaborating going on in this state. Collaboration is where it's at. We do a lot of collaborating.
Yeah, there's been a lot lately out here of like competitions and stuff, and I feel like maybe the thought process is in the right place, but then somewhere along the lines it gets dropped and it becomes more about clout, and some people get insulted. And I don't know, to each their own, but awesome. Collaboration is key. Competition, not so much. All right, so let's go ahead and jump into the first segment, which is Cannabis Journey. A little walk through the woods real quick. Speaking of walking through the woods, we were talking about Bigfoot. We'll leave that for the trip tales. But that's a little teaser right there. But so Cannabis Journey is all about how you, Veronica, found cannabis yourself, and then like where you're at with it now. If you could enlighten us.
Yeah, I like to think like I didn't find cannabis. It kind of just found me. It's always been there. My parents smoked. I really didn't even realize what it was until I was 12, 13 years old, and friends started coming over to the house. They're like, ooh, your mom smokes weed. And like, oh, is that what it is? Like, because I was just told that those were homemade cigarettes, that they just like to make their own. So they bought the ingredients and rolled them at home. Had no idea. Like, yeah. So, and of course, growing up, I just used it more, to get high. And as I got older, I started using it more medicinally. I'm about almost 10 years off of opiates and 4 years off of all pharmaceutical meds, meaning depression medication and stuff. So it has been a game changer. And how people sometimes call it, oh, it's a gateway drug. Well, for me, it's the gatekeeper drug. It keeps me away from doing other stuff that's more addicting and harmful.
I like that. I like that a lot. I think that's I rock that similarly. I started, we all started as kids, like getting high, and then as we're getting older, we're starting to specialize in different things and stuff. What I found for myself, especially during the times when I'm the most kind of like stressed. I like is carrying that like kind of like that long bandwidth of I can deal with this shit today. um,
Right.
uh, and it starts with like what I found out really works well for me is if I'm having one of those days, I get an edible or I make some juice or something like that. I drink that and smoke a joint or take a dab. So once the joint or dab goes away, then the edible's kicking in, and then as it's going down, I'm smoking, and I'm just doing this roller coaster kind of all day. But that's just kind of how I handle some things lately.
Yeah. For
But
me, it's a lot of dabs, and then this little one right here too.
oh, there you go.
She's responsible a lot for keeping me, level headed and mentally stable.
Yeah, I can relate. Mike, I never was a cat person. X and I got a cat. X is gone, kept the cat, and now like she really taught me part of my veteran stuff is to you can't yell and be loud and any of that kind of stuff around a cat, or you'll never see your cat. Um, and so and I don't know about you, but I feel like how animals are around you or whatever is a reflection of you,
Yeah.
and I take that kind of personally. So I was like, no, we can't be this person anymore now, and I kind of had to change there. Um, but what she does do is like she's starting more and more to come over when I'm smoking.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, do you really, are you asking for food or,
Yeah.
and then no, and then she comes right back and I'm like, all right, and then I blow a cloud and then she just like runs off for like an hour. I'm like,
This
yeah,
this one loves it.
hilarious.
Let me see. Usually, like as soon as she smells it, she gets her attention, and yeah.
Yeah, now if I'm dabbing, cat is scared, doesn't want anything to do with it, but any flower, she's like immediately comes over. But my little one's a catnip fiend too. Uh, I mess with her like that. But so with cannabis though, I saw you guys. You do a lot of wholesaling and stuff like that, and working with other companies. And I've even what is the stuff that's come out recently? The head clouds.
Okay,
Uh,
so yeah, that's a collaboration. So we, obviously grew the flower and then had it made into some of it made into rosin, which Zia Terp Hunters did that, and
mm,
then the actual roll is by Head Clouds. So she rolled it.
nice.
Both
Yeah.
females.
Oh, dope. Love that. And then there's another
And,
company
and
that
this
you.
is
Oh,
this
cool.
is kind of it. These were some hash rolls that we had made for an event to basically highlight the glass blowers. So we all donated rosin and flour, and then someone rolled it and put it with the glass tip, and they sold anywhere from $60 to $100 in the dispensary. And yes, we sold out. I believe we were one of the first to sell out. I'm not. Don't quote me on that, guys, but I believe so. Yeah, like we did sell out faster than some boy brands. So I was like super proud of that.
Heck yeah.
Yeah,
That's
because
a
it always
win.
makes me super nervous that no one's gonna want it. So I was, yeah, super
Oh man,
pumped.
the heady people want that shit for sure. They're everywhere, and I just that's a lot of what's going on right now is the infused, especially the hash holes and stuff like that. And that's another thing I want to bring up. I was just talking on the last episode about a strain out here, forbidden fruit, and different things like purple punch and things that there's a lot of people in this industry community that can't stand that stuff. And to each their own or whatever. But here's an idea. I know like a lot of flour, like maybe forbidden fruit, probably isn't a really good hash maker. You know what I mean? So if
Exactly.
so if you take that flour though, following me, you
And
break
put
that
it
down
in a hash hole with some
and
other
put it and
royalties.
put some hash in that shit. Not only are you tasting good, but you're feeling good. I don't know.
And there's one farm out here in Farmington. Shout out to Lava Leaf, who does an amazing freaking job of growing that strain in particular. I
Hell
sell
yeah.
a lot of that one.
Really?
Yes.
Okay. I need to get to New Mexico. I love forbidden fruit. I have some seeds that I want to grow. Like I have from Sin City Seeds. That's a long story, but the strain is Atlantis. It's forbidden fruit times blue power, and we're all searching for Atlantis, really. But yeah, no, I love those kind of strains. That's really something that I'm about. I mean, when people make fun of me for my terps and stuff, I'm like, I'm a '90s kid. I'm a Sharkleberry kid. You know, like I grew up with Kool-Aid with Sharkleberry, with the weird colors and fruit roll-ups and gushers when they were in the aluminum packs.
Oh, I just had a strain the other day that was smelled just like Captain Crunch. That made me like go back to being a kid. Like I just wanted to pour some milk in it and eat it. That
That
that was
sounds
Smoky Road. Shout out to them. Yes.
hell yeah, that sounds great. That except for I might be a little traumatized about cutting the roof of my mouth on that one, but
Oh, I would do that. I would eat too much. Yep.
yeah, yeah.
Understand that one.
What is your favorite strain? Maybe not. You don't have to do all time because that's always maybe a changing.
So
But
the one strain that's always on me at any given time and is always in the truck because it's a like a one in all. You need it to stay focused, awake, it does that. You need it for sleep, it does that. Like what it's an amazing strain. It's Green Wave from Green Wave Farms in Albuquerque, like hands down just my favorite go-to. When I totaled my car about a year ago, for the next 2 weeks that's all I smoked, for sleep, for pain, to stay awake, to stay, I just smoked it for everything because I didn't have to like think about like, what is it that I need. I just smoked it because I was hurting pretty bad. But yeah, and now that farm has blown up. They did a collab with a rosin maker, Couchlock, and now to get a pound of her weed, you got to get on the waiting list. Like
dang,
it's that popular here in the state. So, and in a saturated market, that says a lot, and it's not cheap. So it is it is probably the highest. Yeah, I would say that is the highest. Green Wave strain is the highest that I sell right now, and
nice.
people don't argue. It's that good.
I see. That's the weed that I'm looking for. Now they've had some competitions on recently, and like I said, may not be that great because a couple people got served some rough news. Now I don't know what it didn't really make sense to me because it like they had the breakdown of who was like first through like even 19th, but then at the bottom they had this other section that's like people that got no votes.
Oh,
You know what I'm
poor
saying?
thing. Like just leave it
Like
off.
I'm like, what is that? Like you paid into this, you gave up all your weed that you grew and took all your time for, and then they just shit on you?
You
Like,
know, we've had a lot of competitions come through, and we've never really participated in any until this last one that came through, which was Best in Grass. I was
mm,
very impressed with the way they did things, how smoothly the events went, and the feedback that us growers and manufacturers got back was amazing. Charts, pie graphs, comments, you name it.
oh,
They did
love
a
that.
really great job. And we sponsored that one through the Plug, our advocacy kind of group for small businesses,
Mhm.
and then High Maintenance also.
Nice. Yeah, that's the way to do it. Like that's doing it right. I and you know the people that are doing it right now, maybe they'll learn and stuff. I'm not here to like, but that I just like that's kind of petty to be throwing that out there, even though I don't, I agree with some of their answers,
Right.
but we're not here for that. So yeah, I have a party coming up on the 29th where I'm actually collabing with someone else that is a chef and she makes her own edibles and stuff, and I'm letting her shine. She's gonna make all the edibles. I'm just gonna make some food, some asada and some al pastor. But other than that, I'm letting her go because like that's what I want to do. I want to work with people and like grow and everything, and that's how I can learn because I don't know everything. I can't. Nobody does. Like
Yep. Just like the bud tender training events I put on, like I know enough to know I don't know enough to teach anything, but I can organize. I got friends that are professionals in all these different areas that I can pull together and have an event. But
no, yeah.
yeah, there's a lot, just when I think I know a lot, I get put next to someone who just schools me
Oh
in
man.
in their area. And yeah, it's like, oh yeah, I know nothing. What was I thinking?
Yeah, like you probably know quite a bit more than I do. I know I was talking with some of the California boys, and I don't know if you know him, but Rob of Native Selections, that man, You should check him out. If not, he did purple sand for cookies,
Okay.
and that man, I'm trying to eventually I'm gonna try to get him on here. I've had the other homies on, but that man knows weed. Like I can't even tell you how he's a wizard. He's a fucking wizard. I'm nowhere near it, and it's amazing that as much as I feel like I know, like I just when you climb a mountain and you look over, and then there's like 10 more mountains even higher. Like,
Exactly. And at our farm we have like smoke sessions, basically a standing smoke sesh every Thursday evening. It starts at 6, and different industry people come over, from growers, manufacturers, trimmers, like you name it, they're in the industry, they come. And that's when I realize I don't know anything. When they start talking about the worms in the soil, and this phenotype and that phenotype, and like, man, they get into details. And that's just the growing, like the manufacturing. I'm really close with Donnie from Farmers. And when that man talks, it's just like, wow, like the amount of knowledge that you have to know in chemistry, and it's impressive. And yeah, for people to just think stoners are dumb, like, yeah, no. These are some of the smartest people I know, and so passionate about their craft. I love it.
Yeah, I recently was reading something. They were like breaking down growing and stuff, and they were using English words, but none of the shit made any sense to me. And I'm just like, oh man, like I'm not an idiot. These aren't big ass words, but I just don't make no sense. But I mean, I looked into it, and obviously, if you take some time, you'll learn some stuff, and that's really what the point is that getting out of your head and getting out of your own way, and like especially for myself, like as the years have gone by, getting out of my ego, and like and just and just shutting up and learning. that's what
That's why I love my job too, because like I get to go visit, like I help sell for all these people, so I get to, like, when I pick up or drop off stuff, like get to see them all shining at what they do and love. And I volunteer to help, whether they're a manufacturer or grower, like I'm out there helping them as well, because that's really the only way I learn. Is you can tell me a million times, but until I have my hands on it and I'm doing it, it doesn't stick in my brain. So
same. I go a little step further for myself. I need to know the why. Why are we doing this? Because if not, I can't really wrap my mind around it. But if you do tell me why, I may be able to help you do it better.
Right, and why it's important that you do it this way versus another way.
Right, like give me
Right.
Maybe that's a little too much, but no, that's really how I think. Like I need to be able to do it, but I need to know why I'm doing it. Because if not, I'm just not gonna. I'm not gonna do it. It doesn't make sense to me.
Right.
Maybe that's why I'm not employed right now.
Oh no.
Not just kidding.
No, but I'm always 101 questions too, whether like, I'm asking the grower questions or someone at the dispensary when I, go do my wholesaling trips and stuff. Oh man, do I quiz those bud tenders and make sure they know everything they're supposed to know about my products, and, and asking them about feedback from customers. And yeah, when they see me, they know either one, they're dancing, like they better start stretching because we're going to do a video, or I'm going to quiz them on my products. So,
oh goodness, like, oh, Jesus, that's stress. All right, so I appreciate that. And yeah, I've seen quite a few. If you guys go check out their stuff, there's amazing cannabis all around the high maintenance and the different.
I just try to show the plant, like give it the respect it deserves. I feel like a lot of other accounts are more serious or more like, I'm just trying to show it in good light, fun, push out good information too. But just mad respect to the plant. Like that's what the page is more about, is, and having fun with it, stoner thoughts, and dancing in the greenhouse or out in the garden. Yeah, I don't think there's enough of it.
Yeah. I have stoner thoughts constantly, but my stoner thoughts are somewhere in between like dad jokes and stoner thoughts. So yours are a bit more funny.
Well, they're like all the above though too. I come up with a lot of them. What you see on the page is a fraction.
I love it. Awesome. Let's go ahead and jump into the next segment. which is about psychedelics and trip tales and just all right. So trip tales, like I said, is all about psychedelics, meant like to, using them for mental health and stuff like that. But really, it's even for recreation and things. And sometimes it's just a way to like kind of break the monotony of the insanity that is society. I like to trip at least once a week.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I wish I had time to trip once a week.
Um, you can make time. So a lot of times I don't have time, or honestly, what I like to do, or what really happens, is I may have a lot of editing to do, and I get tired, and I'm like, man, I need to go to bed. But I'm like, I got all this work to do, so we're not going to bed. So that's why sometimes I get sick because I ended up staying up way too late.
That was
And
me this week, but I was wholesaling down in Sunland Park. It's right there at the border of New Mexico and Texas, like right there on the line. So it's a huge market. And it was 3 days of wholesaling for me. And in between those days, like I couldn't sleep for some reason. I don't know if it was the full moon or there was just a lot going on in my brain or what, but
yeah.
man, I'm still trying to recover from that. Like I still don't feel right, that like not getting sleep at night and then having to like get up and go still the next day and put on the smile and the energy and yeah, it
That's
was a
rough.
lot.
And sometimes you need the psychedelics to kind of burn that shit away, because we kind of put on these facades, whether it's not just to bullshit, but just to like, do your job and get through the day. But yeah, the psychedelics do a couple things for me. They help me focus. Also, it starts building the neural pathways and unlocking my mind. So if I was looking, one of the best things it does is, especially when I'm editing or something, if something's messing up, it lets me look at the problem in different angles and different perspectives. And I
Hmm.
have so many ways of getting music, pictures, audio, anything that I want onto the things that I want. If I don't have the right tool, I'm going to figure it out, and I'm going to make the tool, or circumvent the tool. I don't want to give away all my
Now
secrets.
I'm gonna have to try that, like a little bit of mushrooms when I'm editing, because usually I'm smoking when I'm
Yeah,
editing.
so I definitely take a little bit of like shrooms or something and edit, or sometimes I'll take a tab of acid or something. And it's not all editing, like some, especially the uptake, the peak and stuff with the tripping, especially with the acid. At first I'm just kind of like having fun and doing stuff, and when it starts to settle down, then I move over into editing. And then once I'm editing, my brain is just moving so fast, and just like it's like going through a maze, but like my brain is just like boom, 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 scenario, boom, scenario, boom, scenario, boom, scenario. Like I don't. There was a movie like that. Like, but you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and you know what too? Like if I could just bust out videos all day long, like the ideas, like I'm an only child. I had to have a big imagination to entertain myself as a kid. So I feel like I still have that. And there's all these different ideas that people are not doing. And if I could like focus on that, yeah.
Take a little shrooms. You'll be surprised. Like if you start seeing me like throw out a bunch of different reels and TikToks and stuff on the story and stuff, you can for sure bet I'm tripping. like,
Yeah,
like,
for me it means oh, Veronica can't sleep.
oh no. I've been like, I'll start making stuff. I have stuff in my phone that I haven't even dropped because I'll be tripping and I just make so many things. I'm just like, I don't know. Like, I'm not feeling that today. But yeah, um, I strongly suggest it because it not only like helps, like I said, with the neural pathways, but it helps you get out of your own way. One of the biggest problems that I've ever had in life is being stuck in a certain way of thinking about something, and only being blame. Ryan talking, take two. Only being able to um, look at it from the one perspective and being like, well, that's it, and can't do it. nowadays I'm like, okay, what if, and then I just move and move and move until I can figure it out. Um, have you ever had any crazy experiences or anything with psychedelics or?
With mushrooms, not as much. I have more experience actually with ketamine, with infusions, with a
Yeah,
doctor.
we were talking about that. Yeah.
Yeah, I've had probably over 30 when I stopped taking all my depression meds and stuff. I was on 8 different medications just to take my depression medication because there was so many side effects and other things going on. Um, I needed something stronger than mushrooms. Mushrooms helped like when I wasn't that bad, but when I crashed, like mushrooms just could not pull me out, and
Mhm.
ketamine was a game changer. For me, it's kind of like mushrooms is pressing, the button on the computer to restart it, and it reboots your computer, and it might fix things. It's always good to do that once in a while. But ketamine is like, yeah, no, let's pull you out of the wall, for a while, and then when we reboot you, let's update all your software. Let's scrape all the BS out of there, all that brain fog and everything else you don't need. And let's like give you a real good startup, And yeah, for me, ketamine is a game changer. And yeah, I don't know what I do without it. And at first I needed, they start you off at 6 right away infusions, and then after that it's as needed. Some people it's
Mm.
every week for a while. Some it's they don't need it anymore. Some once a year. At first I was going every like 2 weeks, and it was every month and every couple months. My last one, it was a year and a half between. Yeah, like each time, like before that it was a year, so each time
Mm.
it keeps going more, lasting longer and longer, which is why I feel big pharma doesn't want anything to do with it, because it works. And like, yeah.
I have been, yeah, I totally agree. That's one of the best analogies of ketamine I've ever heard. It really, yeah, like I've told people like when I was really reactive and everything and very defensive, PTSD just on 1,000, and what it did was like take me, and like you said, take me out. Just like I
Mhm.
got to step back from my personality and
It
like,
disassociates you from
yeah, like
yourself.
a
Yeah.
motherfucker.
Yep.
And you get to look at yourself instead of subjectively, you look at it objectively, or I don't know if I use that right. But you're looking at it by taking your shit out of it and then going, "Oh, this is just like a math problem. I
Right.
don't have to." Oh,
Well,
when they get mad at me and yell at me and I get upset, I don't have to respond to that because they're not, matter of fact, they're not in your reality until they piss you off or something. And then it's up to you to keep them in your reality. You only get to go down that path if you want to. Like,
right.
you don't
And
have to play that
on
shit.
my first trip, I guess at that time I was kind of bugged that I was working so much. I work
Mm,
all day, every day. I don't have days off. I maybe take a few hours off at a
mm,
time. So I guess, I was probably complaining about that. And my trip was, I had a whole talk with gravity. And man, did gravity put me in my place so fast. He was like, you know what, Veronica? What if I took like a second off? You guys would be screwed. If I decided one day I'm not going to be 100%, I'm going to be 99.999%, you guys would still be screwed. I don't
mm,
get a day off, and you don't see me bitching about it. Like, yeah, I had this
mm.
whole in-depth conversation with him. And when I came back from that, I was kind of like, there's no more complaining. There's no, like, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. I know I'm supposed to be doing this. So get your ass up and get to work. Like,
Yeah,
yeah. So
that's,
that's probably one of the more memorable ones, because it really, like, that whole talk just changed my mindset on the way I view everything.
I
Like, we all have a
totally
job
agree.
here to do, and we all need to do our part. Like, that was the message. And if we don't, things, yeah, can mess up. Yeah, it just made me feel more connected, more like I'm on the right track and I know what I'm supposed to be doing, and just do it.
Yeah. And then yeah, and then it reboots you and you're like you cleared out all the hang-ups that you had,
Mhm.
all the preconceived notions of how things should be, how things are going to be. What do you like, what am I doing? And for the most part, psychedelics and just put you in the now. like one thing that we that I've seen, or I watch like reruns of The Office, and one of the things that really hit me recently was I really wish we could go back or and know when the good times are happening. Um and that shit hits. Woo. Um
I always tell myself that, like, when we're gonna do a little smoke sesh here or barbecue or something, like, I tell myself right now is the good time, because
yeah.
situation might change. Like, once they leave, or after today, things might change and this might never happen again. So enjoy it. And yeah, because it's not always gonna be like this.
No, not
I
at all.
try to remind myself.
Yeah, I try to remind myself too. And it sounds a little dark, but like it just maybe helps you focus a little bit more on the more important things. But hell yeah. Yeah, definitely with the ketamine. I've seen even on Instagram lately they're promoting stuff, some sort of stuff at home. It looks like this little square with different squares all over it.
Yeah, and so I tried two
I
different
don't know
forms of
about that.
ketamine. One was with like a hypnotherapist there, where it was more of a lighter dose. It was still an infusion, but lighter dose, and like you're kept talking to hypnotist.
Mm,
Now, I would suggest that for someone who doesn't suffer from severe depression, maybe someone just died or they're having a hard time, midlife crisis, something like that. I think that works well. For me, I had probably at least 15 that way. It didn't do a whole lot. So I
yeah.
went to these other doctors, Tranquility in Albuquerque, and they basically just sit you in the chair, put your blindfold on, headphones on with, kind of like meditation music stuff.
Yeah.
There's ketamine playlists out there like on Spotify and stuff. And you just sit there and they take you right to that edge where you're almost K-hold, and no one's in the room with you unless you want someone in there. But they just let your brain do its thing with no interruptions. For me, I feel like for people with severe depression, that's the way to go. It's just don't disturb them. Let their brain do its thing, because it knows how to fix itself. So,
Yeah. I can relate to that one for sure. Awesome. Hell yeah. And yeah, talk with someone clinic and stuff like that maybe before you jump into the stuff on Instagram. But awesome. Speaking of which, we'll go ahead and jump into the third segment, which is mental health is wealth. And we'll go ahead and let it rain on your brain.
Welcome to High Maintenance Company, a cannabis and more company. In cannabis, precision is everything. For over 2 years, High Maintenance Company has been helping companies with compliance, wholesaling their own products as well as others, helping build community and relationships for the future. From licensing to compliance, we help bring your cannabis vision to life, on time, on budget, and built to last. High Maintenance Company, helping the community build compliant cannabis companies that grow with you.
All right. So, mental health is wealth. As I just wanted to jump into this segment as it kind of relates to what we were talking about. And yeah, ketamine psychedelics were a real unlock kind of a thing for me, but it really just kind of slowed me down and let me think of different things. And one of the biggest things that I like to help with people is ask different guests if they have like different coping mechanisms that they use when going through these kind of things. That maybe they can throw in their toolbox. I clean or do math or some form of that because I can control those things.
mhm.
I can't control a lot of different situations. So I just kind of get that, and then I get the endorphins from that, and then I'm like, okay, and then I can go on and move on to the next thing. Do you have anything? Or?
For me, since it's my company and stuff, like I don't have to report to a place every day from like 9 to 5. So when I feel myself start to slip, and I can feel it when time starts to feel different. When I'm feeling fine, I don't have enough time to do everything. When that depression kicks in, oh my god, time is so overwhelming. What am I gonna do with all this stuff? Like, I have to entertain myself like every second of the day. Like, it just becomes too much. So like usually that starts to happen, like I try to be more kind to myself and put the phone away, watch some good movies, just make life as easy as possible, take some dabs, do a mushroom trip, or schedule a ketamine session, which I feel so guilty when I have to still, because they are expensive. The insurance will not cover it. So that's like my last resort. But yeah, and like spend time with my dog. Like there's really nothing that helps except for time. Like, and I don't know how much time. I don't know if it's gonna go away in a day or a week or a month, or it. Yeah, and it can be really overwhelming. So at that point, it's like, let me just keep myself alive. Let me eat, relax, do things that I find enjoyable at the moment, because that could be anything. Like I, love doing this, but when I'm depressed, I probably don't want to do that. Yeah, there's no little tricks except for like me identifying it right away and kind of just starting to like, okay, I need to chill. I need to take a step back from work.
That's a skill in itself right there. That's
I used to try to ignore it and pretend it wasn't there, and then I would really crash. And then if I crash, I am no use to anybody.
What you're kind of doing is stuff that we kind of did in the Army. It's kind of like PMCS, preventive maintenance checks and services. Like you're noticing that something's going on. You're like, okay. And then you're going down in your note and in your maintenance manual. You're like, okay, there's a problem. Okay, what do? We stop doing fucking work. We stop doing this. We go have a good time, whatever. And then you're just doing maintenance, I believe, on your brain is what I think I see and I'm hearing from you. And that's a way too. Another way that I do it is like when I'm trying to do things, it's the checklist thing. I don't know if you know, like if you write stuff down in a checklist and you're going through your day and you're marking the stuff off, it actually unlocks drugs in your brain and you can get high. I like to get high. I don't know. I go to the gym because I get high off of that too. Endorphins are great. I'll get done from the gym and I'll just be staring at you know how when you get high sometimes and you're just like staring at your phone and like standing in the kitchen for a while, you're like, what the am I doing? I do that after going and working out.
Oh no.
That's why I'm like, I feel like I'm the dumb jock.
I definitely now get an endorphin release when I post a really good video, like a really cute one or something, because it'll be like 3:00 in the morning and I'll be like starting to get tired, falling asleep. But I post that video or like I finish it, and man, am I wide awake.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, let's do another one. Let's start looking for another one. Like, yeah.
That was me last night. I think that's probably why I couldn't sleep, because the reel that I dropped this morning, I was working on that last night, and I boosted the bass and I was sending it to the brand. I'm like, check this out on a sound system, dog.
Yes. And then when I post the video, like whatever I posted it about, or if it's for like a brand or something, that I'm like, hurry up and look at, like, I want that person. So like, I'll like text them, go look at the video. And they like, yeah, there's a handful of people that are like, oh no, she's like on her kick again. She's going down the hole. Like, look at the video. And then I make them look at it again with the sound on, because you have to watch the video with the sound. Like, I match the video to the music. You have to, like, yeah.
Oh my God, do I do
that?
So
it's a running joke here at the farm. That, yeah.
That's hilarious. I do the same things. And that's kind of mental health there. Another thing we were talking about mental health as things are getting crazy is the VO3 AI and everything that everyone's worried about. I believe it's coming for a lot of our jobs. Who knows what other jobs will be created after that. But for my mental health, I've started watching all the news and everything. What I've been watching is the Bigfoot vlogs, the AI Bigfoot vlogs.
Those are hilarious.
It's so good. I don't have to think about anything. I can just like, this is fucking weird. And then just enjoy something. And shout out to you, whoever's making those. Shout out to the Bigfoot vlogs, because I need a break from the anger. But it's getting crazy though. That VO3, I've made some stuff and it's getting scary, because I was tripping, and part of my mental health and tripping and all
Oh,
that kind
no.
of stuff. And I was like, okay, so all right, this looks all real, right? This is what we have. And the government usually has things that are like 20, 30, if not more advanced than what we have.
Mhm.
So I'm like,
What
no,
are they doing? Yep.
no. I'm like, what have they already been doing? What have they already been playing that is absolutely AI and we have no fucking clue? I'm like, oh no brain. Like, so maybe not for that mental health. I don't know,
Yeah,
but
I don't even think like we can speculate like what's going to come of it and stuff, but I don't think we have a clue. I think something else is going to come of it that we don't even see coming right now.
I,
I don't know. Yeah.
I don't know. I
Crazy.
grew up, it's crazy, the mental health. Like I grew up telling my mom, I'm like, they're gonna have like like a TV channel or something you can go to and you can just play all sorts of different games and stuff and you just pay for it. She's like, they're never gonna have that. And then like within months after that, they had that on regular TV. It was an actual
Yep.
channel. And then now we have basically exactly that. And then there's so many things that I was thinking about as a kid that you kind of just like dream of. Not saying that I'm Nostradamus, but as you know, you're creative and you dream of these different things. And like we were talking about earlier, I think by the time we get to me 80, 70, 80, like we're going to have something where like immortality or put your stuff into a robot body. And that's kind of crazy.
Well, I said there's an article that said by like 2030 they're going to start being able like to do the immortality thing. Like that's scary. I don't want to live forever. I hope I'm dead by the time they start doing this stuff.
Well, man, yeah, that's rough because you have immortality, but maybe you want to stay. I don't know. I don't want it.
I don't know. I don't know. Like I don't. This world is getting more and more crazy. Like I don't. I
And then they're going to do the VR, and then everything's going to be like cyberpunk and desolate and yeah, dystopian and
very weird. Very
oh
different.
man, it's going to get weird real quick. It's already getting weird, but if you're looking to help your mental health, definitely don't watch the news. There's a tool for you. Turn
Yeah.
the TV off, unplug it. Maybe I don't know. I'm trying more and more to put my phone down. It's kind of hard when I'm trying to do all this kind of stuff and promote it and everything, and I kind of get locked into the brain rot. But
Well, my boyfriend is a history major, and was a policy director for the one of the other governors here in the state. So he's constantly just watching news channels, mainly through X now is where he gets most of the information. But yeah, like so I'm hearing it in the background all day long. So I don't watch the news at all because he lets me know everything that's going on.
hilarious.
And I'm just happy we are here on our farm where it's nice and peaceful. And
Yeah, there's a lot of things going on. I don't have the answer for any of it. But what I do have the answer for is smoke weed and work on your mental health. That's what I can tell you. The rest
right.
of it, I don't. I'm above my depth. Yeah. So with the mental health, I do therapy. I do my own kind of like trips and stuff and work on things. More lately with the therapy, I've been noticing, and it's really hard in therapy because I don't know about anybody else, but the VA for us veterans likes to think of mental health as like a math problem. Like if we 1 + 1, then it's going to equal 2, and that's not how mental health works. Whether it's in through the VA or in any other way, um, it's there's so many variables. Like when I got as a chef, when someone asks me how long do I cook this for, I'm like, well, first off, I don't know how your oven is. Second off, I don't know
Yeah.
how big whatever the thing you're
All
making
the
is.
other
There's so
factors.
many. Yeah, it's just like growing weed. I'm sure you know. There's so many different variables that could go wrong or are different, this, that, or the other. Like I can't tell you for certain exactly how to do something. You're gonna have to learn and fail on your own to figure that out. And to be honest, sometimes I mess up even some of the basic cooking things because shit just happens. And
Right.
not everything is perfect. So I don't know.
And some other things I just thought of that I did early on when first coming off medication was float tanks. Have you ever heard of a float tank or was it sensory deprivation tank?
That scares me.
Um,
I don't do claustrophobic.
Gotcha. Well, so these ones were almost like the size of this room. Like it was a big one that you could actually stand in and then lay down in about so much of water. But for me, those really help. Like just it's like a forced meditation for me because I'm not the greatest at just meditating, but this is like a hard force one where all your senses are wiped out. And that I was probably doing float tanks in the beginning, like 2-3 times a week. I just got like the $400 membership where you can go as many times as you want.
Mm.
That and cranial sacral therapy. I loved it so, and that was by chance. I found out I went in for a massage, and the dude did something to my head the last 10 minutes because I was having a lot of dizziness right here, and I think I don't care what the doctor says. It came from coming off of Xanax. I was on Xanax for 5 years. And ever since quitting that medication, it feels like dizzy. Like I feel like I'm constantly going like this, and you might kind of see it on camera and stuff. And so I don't know, something that he did, it felt amazing. And I called him up after and I'm like, whatever you did, I want a whole session like that. And he's like, oh, that's cranial sacral therapy. That's actually what I really do. Like, he was just doing the kind of massage I had requested. So I fell in love with it so much. I actually that summer spent about 2.5 months up in the mountains learning it because it was suggested because I was going so often that to do those classes because you're practicing on people, but people also practice on you. So for almost 4 hours every day, I was receiving therapy as well at a fraction of the cost, but then also learning. And then I found out that too, by focusing my brain on something like that, it's kind of another forced meditation. It really helped. Like, yeah, if I could do that for a living, I would, but I could only do so many things. So
yeah.
But I learned a lot and it really helped me like just settle my nervous system. Because I get a lot of anxiety with the depression. So it helps just calm me down.
I can totally relate with that. And I might have to try that, but do you know those one things that are like a cut whisk and you put it on your head?
Yes, those massage things.
I can't stand like it tickles. Like I can't do it. Like I had an ex that I was
the other thing that helped too, acupuncture. I had an amazing
someone was just
acupuncture.
telling me to do that. Someone was just I can't remember who was saying that. But yeah, someone was just telling me to do that too. I'll have to look into that. I don't know if I have the anxiety or if I could like sit still enough for someone to poke me like that. I
have a lot of anxiety, but like I don't have a problem staying still for that. And and the guy I go to, Ellie, he is just amazing and does different forms, not just acupuncture, but a lot of just regular natural healing stuff. Like sometimes I go in there and I'm like, just put your hands on me. That's all I need.
Nice.
Very good hands.
Sometimes I need to just slow down. Sometimes I'm just like Tasmanian devil. So awesome. Is there anything else you wanted to share with about mental health?
No.
All right, so we'll go ahead and jump into the last segment, and that is plug talk. I forgot my own segment. We'll go ahead and talk. Awesome. So plug talk's all about promo, just play on words, plug. But because we stay cold and plugged in, I got like a refrigerator. Anyway, so now's your time to tell everybody where they can reach you at, and also time to speak on anything else that you didn't say that you wanted to say.
Okay. Like I said, follow us on High Maintenance NM2. That's where you can find us. Right now, we're about to drop those hash holes that I had just mentioned. We're just waiting for test results so we can start taking orders. So can't tell you what dispensaries those will be yet. But like I don't know what I suck at plugging myself.
You're good.
I can plug other people great, but plugging myself, I'm like, I don't know. Yeah.
All right, go to Instagram and it's what again?
And you have to spell it all the way out. High maintenance NM2. And if for some reason that doesn't pop up, then we're probably on 3 or 4 or 5.
or find my page and find the link because
Yes.
they'll be all over it. I have a commercial that we're going to be putting in the middle of this that I made for them. They are a sponsor. Thank you very much. I really appreciate you guys. You guys helped out with production and everything like that. And I'm going to drop that commercial tomorrow morning too as its own reel. And we'll go from there. And then, like I said, we're going to drop this on Tuesday. And then we're going to take a day off. And then Thursday or maybe Wednesday or Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, we'll drop reels. And then Sunday, we'll drop your Spotify. But
Gotcha. Well,
yeah.
one thing I will plug are these cool little gummies that I am. So Farmers is a big brand here in New Mexico. And they just came out with these gummies. They're classic gummies were just with THC. These are with CBD, CBN, CBG, different ones. There's an Evolve, Snooze, Balance. But yeah, Farmers had asked me to try them and give them feedback, and I love them so much that I was like, oh, guys, like you have to let me introduce it and like me sell this. And so they said, okay, sure, go for it. And then they threw the whole menu at me and they said, you got to sell the rest of the menu too. So I got myself in a pickle. No, it's a great brand. These are freaking awesome. Like some of the best on the market. If you ask me, I wouldn't have offered to sell them had I thought or felt any different. And they're taffy too. It's gummies, taffies, and hard candies. So
nice taffy. I like that. They're like, you want to swim? Here's the middle of the ocean. Right. Hilarious. Awesome. Shout out to them. Shout out to you. Shout out to your boyfriend. Thank you guys very much for being a part of this. And we're going to continue to talk to you guys and stuff. I really want to make my way out to New Mexico and try some of these things.
Yeah, you ever come, I'll take you on a tour. We can go visit grows, farm, any place you want to see pretty much where we probably know them or friends with them.
Nice.
And
we'll definitely do that. I have an interview this Wednesday coming up to be a production lead at an edible place. Okay. So went through 3 interviews. So this is the 4th in-person interview. So hopefully we get that. With that means more funds for the podcast and doing different things. So I'm really excited about that.
Question, how is the Arizona market doing? How would you describe it? Not good?
It's not good. It's oversaturated. Companies kind of collapsing here and there. And I just like a bunch of byproduct companies, huge byproduct companies. You know, that's the biggest sellers is the carts and the pre-rolls and everything. And I see a lot of people that are trying to do like micro licenses and stuff now, but I don't think that it's going to work. I mean, I'm all for small business and everything, but you have to understand the realities of life and the things that are going on in front of you. If the micro licenses out here were to get approved, all the bigger companies out here would do is undercut them until they're out of business. And also on top of it, they're going to be putting on so much more overhead, like 1,000% more. So that needs to be planned for. And then even if you make it all the way through that, out here they're selling ounces and half ounces for $35 a piece. Or different dispensaries will take the weed and not pay them until that company goes under and stuff like that. So shout out to that person that you're saying has the green wave or whatever. That is fucking hard to do. It's damn near impossible here. I've even seen some of the top brands like let's say Grow Sciences and Alien Labs. They're some of the top, and at one time they're like $70 an eighth and stuff like that. There's no way they could sell that stuff for that right now.
See, I feel like New Mexico is a very unique market. You know, we have micros. We're a micro ourselves. A couple of farms here are micros, and I sell for a lot of micros. And right now, I have no problem selling them out. Every single harvest. there's a lot of dispensaries that I work with that want to separate themselves from the next guy, from their competitor. And the only way you're going to get and they want fire flower, like really top line flower. Well, you're only going to get that from our craft growers. You're not going to
Right.
get it from the big guys. Like, sorry, it's just not going to happen. So you go to those craft growers. Oh, they want exclusivity. They want to make sure their competitor doesn't have it. Well, how do you do that? You buy them out. So I have dispensaries buying out micros, and I only do, COD every single time. So yeah,
Yeah.
I learned my lesson. I learned my lesson like twice now. Twice I thought I would be a good person and try to give consignment, and I inherited a tractor. And then I'm sure you saw the last video of me calling out somebody. But yeah, like no more of that at all whatsoever. So it's bad out there.
I wish it would be like that, but here's the problem. Most of these dispensaries are owned by MSOs, and they have their own grows, and they don't give a shit. They know they're the majority, they're the ones on the block, and you're either going to buy what they have or you're not. And or they're going to get stuff that's so cheap that they it's
See, that's where we
walk into a
benefit
lot of
from
these
the Texas market. Texans have more money; they will pay more money. So some of the towns right around, El Paso and Midland, Odessa, and stuff, they will spend the money, and they want good flour.
right.
Of course, yes, the cheap sells all day long, and yes, I will sell that to my dispensaries that need it. Yes, but I do sell a lot of micro flour too, which I'm hoping that doesn't change. And
I wish it would happen out here, but the way that they have it set up is just not going to do it. We would need more maybe mom and pop kind of shops so that they could do that kind of thing with the micro licenses and get the exclusivity and stuff like that. But yeah, I just don't see it happening. And plus the people that are fighting for the micro licenses right now are having a hard time with their quality of cannabis as it is, as I've seen in that competition. So I don't, you have to have something amazing to actually set yourself apart.
Yep.
And sometimes that's
just have to have something amazing. It has to test, at a certain number. And then it has to be priced reasonably. It has to look good. It has to smell good. Yeah.
I think in the future it'll happen, but something has to give way before that happens here. That's all. Oh yeah. But if you want micro, go to New Mexico.
Yes, we got a lot of great micro growers. Like I am super proud.
That's what I want, man.
And then in that Best in Grass, when they came to us asking us to sponsor and stuff, they came asking us specifically because they made a new category for micros only. Instead of giving like 300 samples, they only had to give 100. But yeah, like they put out some fire. Super proud of them.
Hell yeah. Shout out to all the micros, and keep plugging away, everybody here in Arizona. I think eventually you'll be able to get there. It's just right now it's not really set up, and I've seen the way that things are going.
What is the definition of a micro in Arizona?
I don't really have I'm talking about like micro licenses.
You're just mean like a small.
Well, the people that are trying to fight for the micro licenses are the home growers right now that have worked in the industry, but they've been growing weed and stuff at home and stuff for a long time.
Here, a micro license for a grower means 200 plants or less. And then the fee is, a fraction of the cost, and you don't have to pay for, per plant or plant tags or anything like that. It's like $1,000 or something like that. Don't quote me on that. My boyfriend does all the compliance and licensing stuff, and I know it, but I always forget because they change things on you like constantly. But it's super cheap. And then as far as like a manufacturer or a retailer, really all it means is you have one location. Like you can be a micro, but you can't have like two manufacturers or two manufacturing locations or two retails. But you can have a grow manufacturing license and a retail, one of each, and still be a micro.
That's crazy. That's not it at all here. There's no micro licenses. They're fighting for that right now, but we'll see how it goes, but we're gonna have to get out of here. I thank you very much for coming. Shout out
We
to
didn't
you.
even get into the Bigfoot.
Oh shit. We did talk a little bit about the Bigfoot, the VO, but maybe we can jump on a live here soon because
Right.
I'm gonna have to take a break on like a week or so here and drop some different reels and stuff like that. So maybe we'll jump on a live and we can smoke along and talk about Bigfoot and all the other things going on at the time.
Sounds
I do
good.
have a party coming on June 29th. If you're in Arizona, tap in. We're going to be eating good food and celebrating life. But, all right. Thank you guys again. You have anybody else you want to shout out?
Nope, that's it.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys. Thank you very much, Veronica. This has been dope. And I look to collabing in the future.
Thanks for having me on.
Hell yeah. Have a good day. Bye.
With love and compassion, we'll find our way. From the battlefield to a brighter day. With love and compassion, we'll